Linux components. The way to begin understand how the Linux operating system works, you should understand the components of Linux operating system. The kernel. The kernel is the core of an operating system, just as the CPU is the core of a computer system. It's a collection of programs, mostly written in C. There is only one kernel for any operating system. The kernel communicates with the hardware directly. Without kernel, an operating system cannot interact with the hardware. Some of the important tasks of the kernel are to check if the user is an authorized user, to keep track of various programs being run and allocate specific time to each program, to assign storage for files on the system, to run the shell programs, to handle transfer of information between the computer and the terminals. The second component is the shell. The Linux operating system uses a shell to transfer the commands from the keyboard to the computer. The shell is just another program written in C. It serves as interpreter between the user programs and the kernel. It translates user commands into appropriate action. The shell interacts with the user, while the kernel interacts with the machine's hardware. So the shell is the program that takes commands and either executes the appropriate program or translates them into instructions that the kernel understands. For example, a command such as dir will be translated by the shell into kernel understandable format. The default shell in Linux is bash. The third component is user programs and applications. There are a number of tools available on the Linux operating system. Tools are user programs that may be written by third-party vendors for certain types of applications. Typically, tools are grouped to perform certain functions such as programming, business applications, and word processing, such as Office applications, which are similar to Word and Excel. Another example is VI and Nano editors.